4. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The danger is near. It's the Dano Show. Mornings on News Talk 614. Here's Dano.
All right, here we go. I know it's not mornings. What's your idea of morning? Mine is very different probably than yours. We're on a weird schedule. So let's go ahead and get this kicked off. We'd like to welcome everyone here to the Dano Show. Welcome to NewsTalk614.com. We are Columbus's new Total Talk radio network. Sound a little bit lost? Yeah, I am. I lost something that I had saved here, so you know how that rolls out. But at any rate, welcome to the Dano Show. We're here at NewsTalk614.com. Total Talk radio network. Columbus's new alternative for real talk, not this local junk that these guys that they pull from these college graduate programs to come out and do a show or some crap like that. But here we are. We're broadcasting live from the Flippin' Rig Mobile Studios right here at Don Scott Field, Northwest Columbus. Now, I know you all know what time it is. I got to bring my friend in to remind you.
You're in the wrong show by mistake. We are Motorhead.
Nah, man, it's the Dano Show. How many times I got to tell you, Lemmy? Come on, man.
And we are going to clean your clock.
Absolutely, bet your ass we're going to clean your clock. That's what we do here. No games, no playing around. Now, if you listen to the very beginning of our show, when all the music was playing, I went ahead and I played something very much out of the norm because I really don't want to have to talk about this a whole hell of a lot because the whole thing kind of irritated me to no end. But I'm telling you, that was Charlie Hurt from The Turning Point. Charlie went ahead, as you heard, went through the crowd and is, he was doing his thing, man. I mean, he had it all together. So he was working on it, and he's talking to the crowd, and it's different. It's different when you get the perspective. There was young man. I can't bring a lot of the screenshots up here into the show and stuff because, well, I could, but it really doesn't matter because basically what the sign said is there's no First Amendment without the Second Amendment. Yeah. Think about that. Isn't that deep? No First Amendment without the Second Amendment. It amazes me. Well, it doesn't amaze me because I saw this after I graduated from high school. The things that are not being taught are very, very overwhelming. I know that when I was in school, yes, it was back in the dark ages. One of the things that I can tell you is there was no discussion about the Holocaust, even in the late 70s, early 80s, because everything was being screwed. It was being turned. It was skewed. It was going to the left. the opposite of where things really need it to be. It's not being taught. It's not definitely being taught today. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had all the useful idiots lining the streets in Washington, D.C., believing that they're going to make they're going to make change happen. I'm sorry. What kind of change did you want? It's very obvious our schools have zero concern overall with the safety plan and the money that they spend within regards to our schools. They're fast to cut all the classes that taught people how to be self-sufficient. Whether it would be home ec, I don't know how much home ec they have anymore. I know I had a child that graduated about 3 years ago. There was no mention of home ec. I know most definitely the shop programs are the very first things to do. Up here in Northwest Columbus, there used to be a vocational school. Let me tell you what happened to the vocational school. City of Columbus, in their infinite wisdom, shut it down. They shut it down. They sold the property to a developer, much like Mike Coleman usually had going on. Sold it to the developer. They made a bundle on it. Now they put a multi-story apartment complex on top of it. I'm confused now because, you see, there were programs in there, much like we see in other places, that, well, it was all self-sufficient. It all allowed these kids to have a real trade program. It really did. Why would we go ahead and get rid of those? Why? Because your government's more worried about making money than what they are taking care of the kids that you trust them with. That's why. I want to do something here real quick on my end. I didn't plan on doing this. This is a little bit of a, this is like a spur of the moment kind of a thing. Let me go ahead. I just want to dip out here for a second. I've got my producer back here kind of waving me. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to take a quick break here. Throw on some Big City Breaker here. These guys are more than happy to go ahead and tell you a little story. Here's my friends, Christian rock band out of Mansfield, Ohio. So we're going to go ahead and roll these guys here real quick. And the Dano Show will be right back here at